from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Henrico records its first death of someone under 30 from COVID-19, an update from the Virginia General Assembly special session, and a chance for Henrico students to chat with a school board member tonight. We'll have details about those stories and more on today's Henrico News Minute for Monday, August 31st, 2020. It's brought to you by the Henrico Federal Credit Union.
And now for the news.
On Friday, Henrico County reported its first COVID-19 death of someone in his or her 20s, according to the Virginia Department of Health. It's also Henrico's first virus-related death of anyone under the age of 40. The gender of the victim was not immediately known. The citizen is checking with the Virginia Department of Health for any other details that may be available. 2 other deaths were also attributed to the virus on Friday in the county. Both were among victims over the age of 80. The county's death toll from COVID-19 is now 192, according to the VDH. The county's moving 7-day positivity percentage of new cases also has spiked dramatically during the last week or so. It was at 6.5% roughly on August 21st, then increased to 9.6% 4 days later. It now stands at 9% as of August 28th. That's the most recent date for which the data is available. By contrast, the state average is 7.4%, Richmond's average is 5%, and Chesterfield's is 7%. The spike appears likely to be the result of several days of lower than normal testing encounters, although the number of confirmed new cases day over day has remained relatively steady. It has fluctuated between 25 and 43 each day during that 7-day period. Some tense moments, no doubt, yesterday morning for the family of a 3-year-old Henrico boy who was discovered walking along Dabbs House Road at about 5:30 a.m. by a passerby. That person called police, who came to retrieve the boy and took him to breakfast while they tried to locate his family. It turns out he had wandered off from his grandparents' house where he was spending the night. Fortunately, the boy was fine and healthy and was reunited quickly with his parents. A number of volunteers helped distribute COVID-19 care kits in some Henrico neighborhoods last Thursday and Friday. It's part of a pilot program between Henrico County, the Virginia Department of Emergency Management, and the state's Health Equity Working Group. Almost 20,000 reusable cloth face coverings, thousands of bottles of hand sanitizer, and informational materials were distributed to more than 5,000 homes in targeted neighborhoods across the county. Those included areas along Williamsburg Road and Sandston, also along Parham Road and Staples Mill, Hungry Spring, and Hungry Roads in the West End. We tagged along for a bit, and you can see some photos from Friday's distribution on henricocitizen.com by clicking on Community. The Henrico School Board will wrap up its 3-part series of virtual meetings with Henrico County students tonight with a meeting with Varina District Board member Alicia Atkins. It starts at 6 p.m. It was scheduled originally for this morning, but it has been moved to a later time. Students are invited to discuss a variety of topics with Atkins and several other guests. Students from anywhere in the county may participate. For details and information about how to join the discussions using Microsoft Teams, visit tinyurl.com/HCPS Student Town Hall. There's no registration requirement. The meeting also will be recorded and posted on the school board's website for additional viewing. That's where you can also find video versions of the first 2 meetings. The meetings are part of HCPS's Community Conversation series. They're moderated by Adrienne Cole Johnson, the director of the school division's Department of Family and Community Engagement. If you have questions, call 652-3787. You can also visit henricocitizen.com and click Education to find this article and the links we've mentioned. Well, the Virginia House of Delegates passed legislation on Friday that would provide for ballot drop-off boxes at voting locations. The measure passed by a 54-42 vote. Democrats are pushing the legislation because they say it'll provide voters with a safe option to drop off their absentee ballots without having to interact with another person. Republicans, however, have been stressing concerns about security of the boxes along with the cost of paying for the postage in boxes. Democrats have argued that similar programs already exist in 30 states and they have yet to see any glaring cases of fraud. The Senate passed a similar bill on Friday. Since it's an appropriations bill, if the House and Senate cross over the bills and pass the same exact bill, then the legislation would go into place immediately. The Senate on Friday passed a series of bills that will address criminal justice reform as well as voter access. One of the measures will make several offenses secondary instead of primary. Those include the possession of marijuana, a failure to have a working license plate light, having an exhaust system that is too loud, and excessive window tinting. The bill also provides that no law enforcement officer may lawfully search or seize any person, place, or thing solely on the basis of the odor of marijuana, and no evidence discovered or obtained as a result of such a search or seizure will be admissible in any trial, hearing, or another proceeding. The Senate also passed a bill that confirms prosecutorial discretion, ensuring that prosecutors have the power to drop charges when they believe that's appropriate. Well, COVID-19 has changed life for all of us in one form or another. That's especially true for those who are rising college freshmen. They've already had to deal with a very unusual end to their high school careers. And on HenricoCitizen.com today you can read the thoughts of one Hermitage High School graduate who is starting college at Mary Washington University this fall, where classes fully virtual. Eliana Nachman spoke with our partners at the Virginia Center for Investigative Journalism, and you can see her full conversation on HenricoCitizen.com by clicking on Education. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by the Henrico Federal Credit Union, with home loan solutions to meet your needs and answers to your financial planning questions. Call 266-0290 or visit henricofcu.org.